I am done with Roblox. Yeah, I know, coming from a developer from a platform saying I'm done doesn't really mean a lot. I mean, a lot of developers quit. I'm not actually quitting Roblox though. I'm quitting playing mainly the same games that I had grown to love. Now, why would I do this? Money's why. Not because I'm not making enough money, or because of anything short of greed. Greed is my main reason. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 major games and the issues with them. Games that I love playing, and show off some classic games that I grew up playing in the mid-late 2000s that still have transactions, but aren't as terrible. Before we begin, let it be known this is more just a personal rant that I'm making into a video to hope and get people to agree with me and make a change with these games. I don't want these creators to get exposed as pedophiles or have their games die off even. I just want a level playing field for everyone. I get needing money, that's why I got into Roblox development, but this just isn't the way. Enough of a disclaimer, let's get into the video. Criminality is a shooter looting game that takes place in Sector 07, which is the most hostile and uncontrollable sector exiled from civilized society, according to the description at least. The game is incredibly pay to win, and pay to play in some aspects, which let's go over the main issues. First off, Standard is locked behind level 15 unless you buy Prime. Why is this an issue? Well, killing people in Standard gives you XP. Why do you need XP? Guns are locked behind super high levels. The Desert Eagle cost me 70k to unlock early, which I'm level 17. That's insane. And I've been playing the game for about a year on and off, and I'm still level 17. Oh, well, when you buy the gun, you get it, right? Actually, no. You need to pay another 1,000 per time you need to buy it. Thanks a lot, RVVZ. Extra Income Game Pass gives 50% more for every allowance. Without the Game Pass, 90k XP takes about 22.5 hours and about 90 allowances. With the Game Pass, 90,000 XP takes 15 hours and 60 allowances. So if you want guns, just buy the Game Passes. It's pretty simple. Skins. No, I don't have an issue with skins. They're just cosmetics, right? Of course not. Some skins are overpowered if you get the right ones. The Golden Tommy gun, for example, has a faster reload of 50%. The Golden RPG has a 200% fling from the explosion, increased explosion radius, and significantly faster reload. The Golden Sawn-Off can one-shot someone with a simple blast to the chest. This of course also flings people. This is insanity! Fun fact, they didn't even take the F to make the skins. Most of them are stolen. You know the Kill Track skins? Those are straight out of Call of Duty. Most of the regular skins are stolen from AW6 and CSGO. It's just disgusting. Weaponry hides all of the good guns, leaving you to die if you're low level. Oh well, what's weaponry? Weaponry is a game pass that allows you to access the best weapons with the most readily available buildings, Armory 1 and 2, located in the best areas of the map. It also unlocks several amazing guns for you. How amazing. Enjoy a grenade launcher at level 1. Weapons are also incredibly unbalanced towards new players. The Beretta does the same amount of damage as the G18, while the G18 is fully automatic and the Beretta is slow. You're certain to die if you use it. It makes the game almost impossible to get into. Let's quickly go over my personal gripes with the weapons. The SKS takes up way too much space for little ammo and very little damage compared to other guns. Every handgun is left redundant once you get the higher levels. Sure, Deagle is nice, but that's a hand cannon, not a handgun. The only 2 handguns are the Deagle and the Magnum, which aren't even handguns. Almost every firearm is way too expensive and way too high level for what you're getting. The Tech 9 doesn't even do enough damage to warrant using it, and it's your best bet if you're a lower level, being it's more common than other weapons. Okay, fine. Weapons are broken. What about the Game Passes? What can I buy to make this easier? Well, Private Servers Plus is a big waste of money. It's the biggest waste of money I've ever seen. It's almost 50 USD for what is essentially admin commands in a private server, which mind you, doesn't even carry over to the main game. Emote Pack 1 is dumb, it's just emotes, and what are you gonna dance to, the radio? Of course you're not going to, because the radio is another massive waste of money. It fills a slot in your inventory and there's barely any audios it can use because of Roblox's dumb audio decisions. Knuckle Dusters are stupid since you have to equip them at the Armory. They are kind of useful and casual since you spawn with them, but you don't spawn with them in Standard. They're broken and will easily beat someone up in a fist fight with no penalty. And Extra Income is absolutely stupid, but it's almost necessary to continue in the game. It shouldn't be locked behind a paywall. let's take a detour from the main game. Did you know that the official Criminality Wiki, which links on screen, criminalityfandom.com/wiki, was written at least partially by AI? Yet they couldn't even take the time out of their day to write it. They just used AI to do this. Well, that's a bold claim. How do you know this? Read this section from the ATM page down in the trivia. It's on screen now. Read this part. A sense of familiarity for players who are familiar. This reference adds a touch of humor. As you mentioned. Oh, come on, tell me this isn't AI at this point. At least make it believable. Before the section ends, I want to mention the Independence Day event that took place while writing and filming for this video. They added a couple changes, including Temp V from the show The Boys, a firework launcher straight out of Grand Theft Auto, and a classic war game mode against the British. Now, I wouldn't have an issue with it. It's actually really fun if people couldn't intervene. Of course, you'll end up dying to some guy with a Tommy gun more than you will with people fighting the war. Oh yeah, I also fixed the elevator RVVZ. You're welcome. Take a look on screen. Works perfectly fine, no clipping. For the people who don't play Criminality, there is an elevator in Vibe Check, which is one of the most lucrative loot areas. You'll have a basically 9 out of 10 chance into clipping through it because the coding is just awful. Which I fixed it in 2 hours. Your team of developers couldn't do what I did. Alright, let's go to a different style of game. After the Flash is a series of post-apocalyptic role-playing games similar to D&D. Stuff like dice rolling, building bases, assembling firearms, and such. It's a fun game, I'll say, but do you want guns that look good? Pay for it. Let's take Summer Rain 2024 for example. SR is the event that happens every summer and after the Flash Wintertide, the latest game. SR24 has a pass called the Flash Pass, which allows you to get 7 exclusive weapons from the Summer Rain event. You need to reach level 55 to unlock all Flash Pass weapons, level 1000 to unlock all base level weapons, and for the free SR event weapons, that's going to be level 60. How do you level up, you might ask? Every 60 minutes you gain 1 level, and I did the math. To get to level 60, you need to wait about 2.5 days of non-stop playing to get all of it. Not bad, I guess doable. Now level 1000, if you joined on 4 July, the day that SR24 was released, it would take you 41.67 days, more than a month straight of sitting here doing nothing. Sure, you could play the game, but the event lasts from July to September. If you have a life, you're absolutely not reaching level 1000. Here's a tip, set up an auto-clicker, there's a million tutorials on how, just leave your computer on overnight. Sure, it's not amazing, I shouldn't have to just for cool cosmetics, but I do. Now about that Flash Pass, I have a major issue with it. It costs 1,000 Robux to get in the points shop, give or take due to minuscule discounts, and you don't even know what's in it. I bought the Christmas event items. I got everything aside from 2 boxes because I was too broke to get them. Guess which box had the minigun, truck, and a ton of cool other gadgets that I didn't get? The one box that I was too broke to afford. It's basically gambling. You just buy another gift box that if you don't know if you're ever going to use it. Now the Flash Pass is the worst offender. You get 7 items, that means every item is worth about 143 Robux. I get its limited edition, but the Wasteland Wares pack that came out a month prior, it's 95 Robux, comes with a pipe rifle, a single action revolver, and a laser rifle, and a machete. I could buy that pack twice over and get 6 guns and 2 melees for the same price as 1 Flash Pass item. Again, how do I know if I'm ever going to use the items I get from the Summer Rain Flash Pass? That's the fun part, you don't. You'll never know until it's too late to buy it. It's just another example of borderline greed. Hey, Future Xylee here. Update, remember how I said the worst offender is the Flash Pass? Well, we've got a new one. As of writing the script, I haven't even voiced the ATF part, and they've decided to one-up their previous greedy mistakes. This time it's 3 more weapons. The first weapon being Tier 1, Thorn 2, a high-caliber pistol. How much do you think it costs? 1,515 scrap parts, meaning that you need to buy 2,000 scrap parts since you don't get them in 500 increments. That's 1,860 for 1 gun, and you only have 345 scrap parts left. Why not just buy the Tier 2 and Tier 3 with that money then? Well, Tier 2, Meridian, is a gel-based slightly explosive, in quotes, air assault rifle at 2,525 scrap parts. And Tier 3, ALVMS, is a high-caliber railgun at 3,535. Let's run the numbers. 1515 plus 2525 plus 3535 is 7,575 scrap parts. If 1,000 scrap parts is 930 Robux, and you need to buy 8 of them to have enough, you spend 7,440 Robux for 3 weapons. Oh, but you'll also have 425 scrap parts left. Do you really think that's worth it? Mind you, the most expensive item is only 15 scrap parts more expensive at $35.50. And that's the Mega Build expansion. The price is justified since they don't want many people owning it. It allows you to have a maximum prop limit of 700. This is for building micro cities. This is understandable completely. I would get why this is so expensive, but these stupid weapons? Absolutely not. None of them are justified. Oh, but Xylee, I thought you were talking about modern games. This one released in 2011. Yeah, there were still offenders back in the early 2000s. I'm talking about all of Roblox's history here, not just modern, not just old. Back in my day, dear, do I sound old, Military Warfare Tycoon was one of the funnest shooters you could get on the platform. First off, before you even join the game, what is this? This is just blatant false advertising at this point. So, what's so wrong with the game then? Well, the fact there's literally a game pass called Golden Railgun, which used to be only available for Psycho Discord server boosters, now it's available to everyone for the low price of 450 Robux, or about 5 USD. It's a worse version of the Railgun, available in the 550 Robux Ultra VIP Game Pass, which gives 50 extra health, a gravity coil, a railgun as mentioned earlier, and a multiple launch rocket system vehicle. That doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, Mega VIP for 350 has 50% extra health and double walk speed, and Giga VIP gives 75% extra health, and Supreme VIP has a 50% extra health on top of that. Yes, they stack too. That's 325 health maximum if you just pay 2,000 Robux for all the packs that have health. That's about 20 USD. Oh, and the Elite VIP doesn't give extra health, but it gives a medkit that heals full HP with a 90-second cooldown. Standard VIP also gets a jetpack, one of the most overpowered items, since using that combined with a railgun is unstoppable. Another major issue with the game is the amount of people who have insanely high kills that will join the game with a railgun and jetpack, go around the map sniping new players, and then leave. They do it for fun, it gets really annoying. The railgun is the most overpowered weapon in the game, and most of these people got their kills by paying for the railgun. It's entirely pay to win. Pet simulators are, in my opinion, one of the biggest money cows on the platform. They are insanely easy to code, with gambling elements being the entire purpose of playing. I used to be super addicted to games like Pet Simulator X just because of how predatory the mechanics are. Now, for those who don't know, what are pet simulator games? Well, a pet simulator is a game that uses gambling as a mechanic to get more pets to farm for loot, which is used to buy more pets to farm for more loot, and the cycle continues. The entire purpose of a pet simulator game is simply to generate income to the developers over time. Okay, so you need to gamble to get more pets. What else are the issues? Well, on top of predatory mechanics such as gambling baked into the code and core mechanics, they hold events that require money to get pets, such as limited edition plushies and toys that contain codes for more exclusive pets. Only certain games do this, but the larger pet games such as like Pet Simulator X, they do them as well. This game category can fall under the term gacha games. Gambling is already bad enough to be exposing to children. Well, how about having paid boosters that increase your odds of getting higher and higher tiered rewards? On top of that, why don't we add a pinch of Game Pass pleasure that will only make it more and more targeted towards children? The entire concept of pet simulators are to get children addicted to gambling, so they will only pump more money into it. These games incentivize AFKing too, which, if you don't know, AFK stands for away from keyboard. Basically, these games want you to run your computer, Xbox, or mobile device, or anything in the background while playing their game. Their premise is to have as many people playing as possible, which has enough people paying as possible, along with keeping their player counts high. That's why inflation's so high, to get you to stay overnight while you farm for items, which ironically makes the game even worse because it turns into a grind fest. If you own premium, every bit of time you spend in the game will go towards the developer in the form of Roblox paying them for having premium users play their game. It's incredibly predatory and should not be a thing. Gambling is not something to expose to children. Satkia 51, or Survive and Kill the Killers in Area 51, is an old Roblox game from when I was growing up that is oddly quite popular still. The game used to be my childhood, the first game I would ever play on the homepage, but dear lord, it's been watered down. Let's first talk about the objective of the game, at least the original game mode, which is the one I'm most familiar with. The goal is just to survive as long as possible and kill as many things as possible while collecting weapons and keeping stocked on ammunition. Imagine it's like Call of Duty Zombies where every area is unlocked, guns are free, but they're just hidden in certain rooms. Now, what can make this more unfair on other players? Well, luckily, PvP isn't a thing, and it's just a PvE in the normal game mode. However, you're able to buy VIP. What does VIP do? Well, VIP gives you every single weapon in the game every single time you respawn, making the collecting aspect of the game completely useful. I know it's not as bad as other games, but it's still a little bit annoying. Let's go over the game modes together real quick. First game mode we have is Classic Mode, which is the original. This is the one I grew up playing. Next we have Killer Mode, which is PvP as long as you play as the killers and hunt down survivors, or you play as a survivor and hunt down the killers. Juggernaut has an overpowered killer that everyone must defeat. I'm not entirely sure what that entails. Endless Mode is sort of Call of Duty Zombies style, with endless waves of zombies appearing. Boss Rush has 2 players fighting against a single boss as fast as possible. Area 51 Storming is a story game mode where you raid Area 51 to prove aliens exist or something. Finally, Kill House is the training section. As far as I remember, the higher your time, the more weapons you unlock. I believe this is also how you unlock the explosive crossbow. Classic Mode will be the first mode I cover. There are 3 difficulties: normal, hard, and extreme. Normal is, well, it's normal. Hard changes some things around, and extreme is dark. Normal is the original 2015 era game mode as far as I know. The game is generic and boring. I grew up liking it as a kid for some reason. I'm still not entirely sure why. All the enemies are creepy pastas like Tails Doll, Sonic the EXE, and Slender. I guess that was my main reason for liking the game. This was early to mid 2010s, okay? This stuff was popular back then. For the guns, you can pack a punch, which is stolen straight from Call of Duty Zombies, to upgrade your firepower. It's basically one of the only things you can really do as sort of modifying weapons. The other game modes I don't have time or the want to cover, so let's just go to the most infuriating one of all. Out of all the stupid game modes, the absolute worst is named Area 51 Storming, and oh my dear is it hard. This is probably one of the hardest and most punishing things I've done in a while, aside from recording for October's video. There are 4 people to play as: a rock thrower, Kyle, Naruto, and your avatar. I always pick my avatar since I hate seeing myself playing as a different character. I'm not sure what the other ones do, but trust me, it's not worth it to find out. The game mode's terrible anyways. The range of the soldiers at the beginning is insane, bullets can't go through players, and they're all very tiny projectiles without tracers or anything to tell you even where the bullets are. You look like you're just endlessly taking damage. On screen now is every single death that occurred before I gave up on the stupid game mode. This is absolute insanity. I would never recommend anyone to play this. Stick to the original, I quit. Enough complaining about bad games. It's finally time to talk about some good games as promised earlier. One of the few greedy games on the platform that greed doesn't really affect is Murder Mystery 2, one of the oldest and most popular games on the site. MM2 is one of those few games I really recommend. It's a sheriff and murderer game, similar to Clue, where every player aside from 2 are innocent. Your goal is to survive as long as possible and figure out who the murderer is, tell the sheriff, and have the sheriff kill them. Created back in 2014, MM2 is known for having paid items, but that they don't really do much. Aside from being cool skins, they don't boost damage since everything is one-shot or increase or decrease your chances on a certain item. MM2 has loot boxes, crafting, and paid items that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things because they don't do anything. Sure, you can pay diamonds to open the boxes, but what's the point when you can just collect coins by playing the game? The only real pay-to-win part is the Elite, which allows you to collect more coins than usual, but that's just coins for skins. Again, not nearly as bad as any of the other slop on the platform. The murderer can have different abilities, from X-ray to seeing footsteps to having the ability to throw knives fast, hold a fake gun, or even make no noise per kill. It's a really in-depth and fun game I recommend checking out. Although it's old, it still holds up today as one of the best Roblox games on the platform, similar to the era of epic minigames and Mad Paintball. The reason the segment's so short is because everyone knows MM2, so there's not much I really need to talk about. At the end of the day, these are all games that I used to play, and these are all games that I care about deeply. I don't hate the games, I hate what they become. I wanted to talk about a few other games, but I simply ran out of time to. The other games I wanted to mention as good were the Conquestors, which is a command and conquer style battle simulator with troops, formations, planes, and nukes. Flood Escape 2, a parkour game where you enter 3 rooms and try to hit as many buttons as you can while trying to escape a rising flood. Stop at Slender, a Slender horror game where one player plays as Slender and the other players play as civilians trying to collect as many pages as they can. If time runs out or if all civilians die, then Slender wins. The civilian wins if all 10 pages are collected within 10 minutes. It's a really fun game and I highly recommend playing it. The final game I wanted to recommend are a category, and these are games like Plates of Fate, The Goofy Chronicles, and Lab Experiment. Both are considered plate games where the objective is to survive and kill the other players to be the last one standing while natural disasters and random events occur around you. They're really chaotic and really fun for a game night. For my consensus, Roblox is not a bad platform. It has some issues, but so does Steam, so does Epic Games. Every single platform has their own issues, and I think Roblox is the most user-friendly when it comes to creative expression. Although these games are bad, there are dozens of worse ones, and there are also dozens of better ones. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to reach out to me for video ideas, I would be happy to have you reach out to me via Discord or my Twitter. My handle on both platforms is Xyleak, or XYLIEAK, as stated before in my Manhunt Part 2 video. I appreciate you watching until the end, and I hope you all have a nice day. See ya!